everybody. My name is, thank you. My name is Dawn Campbell. I'm your host for this webinar. And it's rather an informal setting for me because I don't have my usual banner in my office due to a little house fire. So I'm temporarily homeless, but in a nice little perfectly formed cottage that I'm renting. So that's why it's a little bit informal today. So today in the hot seat, we have David Newman. Welcome, David.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You're very welcome. So David is an expert in marketing. He's the bestseller of Do It Marketing and Do It Speaking, both key skills for us coaches and mentors. And as I was just saying to David a moment ago, I loved his 77 instant action ideas to market, monetize, and maximize our expertise. And I think that was way back in January, and I share that constantly. And that's why I've invited him onto this call today. I always like to share something funny or unique or a little bit different about our speakers. And this one amused me because, well, for two reasons. David said he's the old school video champion. I've never played a video game in my life. And he's a lifetime Starbucks gold member. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. I'm sure you think, oh, she's missing out. Anyway, I'd like everyone to grab their pad and pens because we're going to learn a lot today. Because as I said, David is the author of several books and he's the expert on marketing and speaking. So we want to learn how to avoid some of those rookie mistakes, charge correctly. And it's something that comes up a lot, particularly with new practitioners. They're very nervous about calculating what is going to be their fee. So we're going to learn how to do that correctly and with confidence. So I think over to you without further ado, please, David.
Excellent. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. If you're here with us live, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here watching the recording, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here in cyberspace or 3D or holograms or artificial intelligence, and it's 110 years from today, welcome to you too as well. So today we're going to talk about high fee VIP, how to reposition your value, reframe your impact, and reboot your profitability. So I always like to eat dessert first. You know, you hate going to these sessions where they do all the handouts and all the goodies at the end. I do the handouts and the goodies at the beginning. So if you want to get some of the companion tools, you want to get this slide deck, you want to get the complete digital version of the book that Dawn mentioned, the Do It Marketing book, that is all waiting for you online. All you need to do is go to kiwilive.com. That's the system that we use to distribute our goodies. kiwilive.com, type in the keyword do it, because my company name is Do It Marketing, and you will get this PowerPoint deck. So you don't need to cramp up your hand taking notes. You'll have everything in front of you. We have 2 PDFs waiting for you there. We have a completely different 51-minute training called the Consulting Revenue Roadmap for the coaches who also do consulting. And I think I put 1 or 2 more things in there, a couple of PDFs, maybe an extra manifesto is in there, and some more cool stuff that frankly, I just forgot, but it's special for you. It is special just for our audience here today. So pop over there and you can do that on your mobile device, that you can do it on your tablet. You can even do it on your computer. That's what it looks like on your computer. If you decide to pop over there, open up a fresh tab, kiwilive.com, keyword is do it. And yes, we're eating dessert first. So there you go. All right, let's talk about the post-pandemic emergence that we are experiencing right now. Obviously, this global pandemic has changed the business landscape, not only the coaching landscape, but the business landscape forever. And I'm not just talking about the move to virtual. I'm not just talking about remote work or work from home. It is really profound changes in our clients, profound changes in our client base, what they want, what they need, what they're spending money on, what they value, where they want to go with their career, where they want to go with their company. All of those different things have really shifted in the last 17 or 18 months. So I want to encourage everyone to enter the matrix. Enter the matrix with me. And if you remember from the movie, there was a choice. Neo, who's the hero of the Matrix, had a choice near the beginning of the film. You can take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and you believe whatever you want to believe. Or the more exciting choice is you take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. So there are unprecedented opportunities in this post-pandemic landscape for coaches, but we have to get out of the scarcity mindset, the fear mindset, some of the negative self-talk that might be holding you back in your coaching business. And we need to really embrace the red pill and look at all the opportunity, look at all the tremendous worldwide need for coaches and coaching and for help in the B2B marketplace, in the entrepreneurial marketplace, in the B2C marketplace. Whatever type or style or flavor of coaching you do, the world needs you now, and the world needs you now more than ever. So let's talk about that. Client success story to get us going here. Fantastic coaching client of mine, Ray Engen. He says, this was right in the middle of COVID crazy time. This was around August of 2020. He says $16,200 payment in hand. He had one program that he was sold for $4,200, another program he sold for $12,000. The thing I like about Ray's story is neither of those two programs existed when I was paid for them. So this is really the time for coaches to get creative. This is this success story, if I were to put a bumper sticker on it, it is go before you're ready. So many coaches and consultants and speakers and trainers that we work with, they wait, they analyze, they overanalyze, they think, they overthink, and they never get into action. If you go before you're ready, if you embrace the concept of go before you're ready, and you launch your new coaching program, you launch your new group program. If you're working on an online course to supplement your coaching, you launch that online course. And nobody knows if it's going to work. The only way to know if it's going to work is to work it and to sell it and to put it out into the marketplace. One of the things that I end up telling our clients all the time, they can't buy it if you don't build it. Please write that down somewhere. Dawn mentioned about grab your notebook, grab a pen. We're going to have a lot of writer downers. We're going to have a lot of nuggets here that will steer the rest of your guided implementation through our masterclass here today. But really, please embrace that concept that they can't buy it. Prospects, your people who need what you do, they can't buy it if you don't build it. They can't buy it if you don't build it. So let's talk about our game plan for today. We're going to talk about some ways to avoid some dumb mistakes when we're entering this new now. I don't like the term new normal. I never liked the term new normal. I don't think there's anything normal about what's going on right now, but we are definitely in a new moment of time, especially if we take that red pill. We're in a new moment of unprecedented opportunity for coaches, and your coaching business can thrive now more than ever. We're going to share some truth bombs and some uncomfortable realities. Everything is designed in this masterclass to help you increase your value, increase your impact, and increase your profitability. That's where the title comes from, of course, High Fee VIP, and to make a bigger dent in the gosh darn universe, to have the impact that you were always meant to have, and to kind of follow through on your big entrepreneurial dreams. At the end, I am happy to stay for Q&A if people have questions about any of today's methodology, training, tools, practices, and principles, and a little bit just about my backstory and how I came to have the privilege of presenting for you today. Before starting my own entrepreneurial journey in 2002, I actually had real jobs. I had real jobs at real companies, and here's what those looked like. I first started teaching at my graduate school, so higher education. I then moved on in 1992 to go into technology training at a small company called Online Consulting. I then went into HR and management consulting for a big global HR and management consulting firm called Towers Perrin. And then I ended up my paycheck days working for another tech company called PeopleSoft before they were purchased by Oracle. So my story on the inside, and the reason I left corporate America, is because in August of 2001, we had the fourth reorganization in 4 years. And I went from having the best boss I ever had to having the worst boss I ever had. That's when I decided to go out on my own. So I live in the US, I live in Pennsylvania. When you want to start a company, you file papers with the state that you live in. The Department of State is where the Department of Commerce is. Filed the papers, signed up with a franchise training company. You can see where this is going on the timeline, of course, because then September of 2001, September 11th specifically, the world changed in a permanent way, just like the world changed in 2007 and 8 after the financial meltdown, and just like, once again, the world changed permanently in 2020 with the global pandemic. So my paperwork from the Department of State was actually stamped September 10th, 2001. That's when they processed it. They put it into an envelope. They put a stamp on it. They mailed it. The next day, the entire world changed with the September 11th tragedy. This piece of paper landed on my desk September 12th or 13th. Welcome to business. What a not good time to start any sort of business, let alone a coaching and training and consulting company. So I had no idea what I was doing. I had no fans, no connections, no clients. I had no clue, and I struggled for years. I made every mistake in the book. I made the good ones twice. So here is what I learned coming out of that. Here's what I learned out of surviving and thriving the 2007, 2008 financial meltdown. And here's what I learned surviving and thriving after the global pandemic of 2020. This new now is here to stay. There is no going back. We only go forward. And I talk to all kinds of smart people in the events industry, in the media industry, in the conference industry. We talk about this in our $1 Million Speakers group here at the National Speakers Association. The British version of that, of course, is the PSA, the Professional Speaking Association. And we talk about this a lot with our very own clients. So as far as having a finger on the pulse of where are we now in this post-pandemic world, there's still a lot of uncertainty. There's still a lot of turbulence. And when the world turns upside down, I have more good news for everybody. The underdog is on top. Think about that for a moment. If you've always felt, well, I'm an underdog, I'm sort of, the anti-hero, I'm the best kept secret for my clients. Literally, when the world turns upside down, who's on top? The people that used to be the underdogs. So this is the moment. Underdogs unite. This is the moment that you've been waiting for. First truth bomb. Whenever you go where everyone else is going, you lose. The problem, I feel, the problem in the coaching and training and consulting industry is we tend to commoditize ourselves. We are so focused on looking like and sounding like every other coach that we blend in. We do not stand out. So I'll give you an example. In pre-pandemic days, if you wanted to penetrate a certain market or a certain industry, you might be tempted to get a trade show booth. The problem with getting a trade show booth is that you are right alongside every other trade show booth. And it's a subservient position. It's a vendor position. It is not a partner position in the marketplace. And almost everybody would say, hey, go to the big association meeting and get a trade show booth, buy a table. My friend Mark Levy does the opposite. Mark is a positioning and differentiation consultant. So of course, he's going to do things differently. This is Mark's trade show booth when he goes to any industry event. It is the lobby of the hotel. He would never dream of setting up a trade show booth. What he does is he has one-on-one meetings, morning, noon, and night. He has coffee, breakfast, lunch, and drinks one-on-one with hand-selected people throughout the entire 2 or 3 or 4 days of the event. And he generates hundreds of thousands of dollars of business by not having a trade show booth and making genuine connections with individual people and then having conversations with them in the hotel's lobbies and bars. So here's what Mark said. Recently, when I needed guidance, where hundreds of thousands of dollars of potential business was in front of me, I knew to call one guy for help. David Newman. Run, don't walk to grab a spot at David's next event or hire him privately. You can't afford not to. Well, I have great news. You are at my next event. This is the event that Mark is talking about. So welcome. I am excited that you're here. But think about this. We always complain that clients, corporate clients, entrepreneurial clients, coaching clients, they commoditize us as coaches. Well, I have bad news. It's even worse than that. Clients do not commoditize coaches. Coaches do a pretty gosh darn good job of commoditizing ourselves by looking like, sounding like, and acting like every other coach. And that can stop today. That needs to stop today. When the world hands you a left turn, we have to recalculate, right? When you're going off course on your GPS will tell you that he or she is recalculating. And this is, the global pandemic of 2020 was absolutely a major left turn. It was a major left turn for your business, for my business, and certainly for every client that we're going to come across. So let's talk about the 3 key outcomes that most coaches really want to achieve in their business. This is better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. And I'm going to walk through 4 different levels of progression that most coaches experience and how you can start to elevate and escalate where you are on this spectrum. So the bottom, the red zone, is where things are not going well. This was that first 3 years in my own business that I told you about. So as far as better clients, these are the worst clients. These are the transactional clients. These are the tire kickers. These are the ones that are quick to crucify you when you make the smallest mistake or the smallest slip up. As far as bigger deals, these are all small deals. Every deal is transactional. Every deal is a one-off. And as far as high fees are nowhere in sight. This is, I will take any client at any fee for any type of coaching. And what we call these folks are struggle bunnies. They're not necessarily newbies. Some newbies are struggle bunnies, but also some struggle bunnies have been in their coaching business for 3 years or 5 years or even 10 years sometimes, and they can just never escape that hand-to-mouth situation. The barrier there is what I call the barrier of fear and or ignorance. And here's what that fear and ignorance is about. We think that we need more leads. We are in the chasing leads business, and we actually don't need more leads. The myth is that you have a marketing problem. What you really have is a strategy and positioning problem. And we're going to unpack that here in a moment. Once you solve the strategy and positioning problem, you're at the next level of the pyramid, which is the yellow zone. I call these aspiring coaches, aspiring consultants, etc. As far as better clients, yes, you are getting better clients, but it's still kind of a vendor status. You're not really a partner. They're not really looking at you as a trusted advisor. They're looking at you as a service provider. And that is certainly better than the nightmare clients who are quick to crucify you. As far as bigger deals, once in a while, you get lucky. Once in a while, there's an upsell, there's a cross sell, people buy or extend or renew. As far as high fees, we maybe start with a good fee schedule, but we suffer from discounting disease. And no matter where we start, we always end up cutting the price or caving on the price. The way to escape this level is to really zero in on a very targeted problem, because every one of our clients has a specific problem. If you put yourself out there in the marketplace as a generic coach, there's no such thing as a generic solution to a specific problem. Once you become a specialist, you then go to level 3, which is more of an established coach. And here you have clients that might look like partners, but you really don't want to screw up. I had a client, this just happened last month, 10-year relationship with a client. This is a corporate coaching client. This coach made one mistake, and I wouldn't even say it was a big mistake. I would say it was maybe a medium-sized mistake and a totally forgivable mistake. After 10 years, they said, thanks, no thanks, we're going with somebody else. That's what I mean by a pretend partnership. That these relationships are kind of trusted advisor, like it looks like trusted advisor to you, but it's still transactional and easily replaceable on their part. As far as bigger deals, you now have a balance of short-term and long-term clients. And as far as fees, the good news is you now have an average comparative fee structure. But also the bad news is you now have an average comparative fee structure, which simply means that you are being compared to other coaches and other experts who do what you do. So to get over that problem, we need to sharpen up your investable opportunities, the way that you work, the kind of services that you offer. Getting out of that good enough zone is the real challenge at this point, because the obstacle you're going to hit is, hey, you know what? We're doing okay. Let's not mess with success. Let's not rock the boat. We're doing okay around here. My business is good. But sometimes when your business is okay, we start to become okay with doing okay, and we never hit that next level of escape velocity. To hit the next level of escape velocity, we have to embrace the truth that as coaches, when we start to solve bigger problems, we get bigger checks. And this is where you see the rock star coaches, the folks that really have this dialed in. And here they're hitting all the dimensions. So as far as better clients, they are only talking with true partner clients who are able to pay, eager to pay, and expecting to pay. Write that down. It's not just eager to pay. It's not just able to pay. It is expecting to pay. Expecting to pay. As far as bigger deals, most deals are long-term coaching or recurring revenue type of coaching. So it's a relationship that we're selling. It is not transactional. It is not vendor status. It is a true partnership. And then as far as fees, premium fees are expected sometimes 3 times to 10 times higher than what they were in the red zone. Higher than what they were in the red zone. So once you have this is the source of unstoppable traction, where success leads to success. One client leads to another, leads to 2 or 3 more, and you just start to build up this level of momentum where your coaching business almost seems like it's running itself. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So wherever you are, and by the way, some coaches kind of vary between these levels. So a little bit of struggle bunny, sometimes aspiring, sometimes slipping back into struggle bunny, a little bit of established, sometimes slipping back into the yellow zone. Sometimes a rock star even slips into the established zone. So until you get that unstoppable momentum, you always need to check mark. You always need to sort of not check mark, benchmark where you are on these dimensions. Are you doing the work that you really want to do? Are you really getting the deals that you want to get? And are you truly charging and getting the fees that you know that you deserve? Because here's what tends to happen as far as marketing activity. The struggle bunnies hate marketing, and they have the usual feast or famine revenue cycle. The aspiring folks, they market out of necessity. They still don't really enjoy it. And they're doing okay. That's sort of the flat line, very slow growth. The folks that are established are good at it, and their elevation is a little bit faster. But once you get to the rock star status, that's where you move from incremental growth to exponential growth, because everything is firing on all cylinders. And folks at that highest level typically love the marketing part and love the sales part, because it's not yucky, it's not pushy, it's not weird, it doesn't feel salesy, and they get great results from it. So think about any great marketing that you see. When you see another coach, you see their website, you see their LinkedIn profile, you're like, wow, that coach really has it dialed in. That is some great marketing right there. That's like an iceberg, and what we see is 10% above the waterline. What they've really worked hard to do is better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. And that's, again, with the true partners who are eager to pay. Most deals, long-term and recurring coaching contracts, and premium fees are expected to the tune of 3 times to 10 times what they were when they were struggle bunnies. So every high value coach really deserves a transformational freedom-based business. Just like with an iceberg, the iceberg doesn't move according to the wind and the waves at the top. The iceberg moves according to that much deeper level of current. at the bottom. And if you start putting some of this infrastructure in place now, that's going to be the inevitable movement of your coaching business, is towards that transformational freedom-based business. So the way to start thinking about that is decide who you are now. Decide who you are in this new now moment. And it combines three different things. Number one, what are you passionate about? Number two, who are you passionate about? And then number three, looking back at those folks in the blue circle, what are they passionate to learn, do, or become? Write that down somewhere. So what is your target market passionate to learn, do, or become? Because if your coaching is squarely at the center of these three circles, you unlock an unprecedented amount of demand. If you figure out the topic, the target market, and then what do those people, what are they already buying? What are they already investing in? How can you put your coaching practice right in the crosshairs of where they're already spending time, money, attention, bandwidth? They're already investing in those outcomes or in solving those problems. When you show up on their radar, that conversation is going to be very different than, hi, do you want some coaching? Hi, do you want some coaching? No one ever woke up in the middle of the night and said, I think I need some coaching. What they wake up in the middle of the night thinking about is what they want to learn, do, or become, or a problem that they have that they do not want, or an outcome that they want and do not have. If you can dial in your coaching business to be in the center of those three circles, you win. And sometimes that means that a seasoned coach or a rock star coach does some re-evaluation given the new now. Sometimes that means that an aspiring coach is no longer so committed to what she or he wants to sell and gets very, very tuned in to what their market wants to buy. And that can be the difference between success and failure. If you want to do this the other way, use the process of elimination, figure out who's not for you. What are you no longer willing to tolerate? What are you no longer willing to accept? What kinds of coaching, what kinds of clients, what kinds of fees, what kinds of coaching projects are absolutely no longer a good DNA match for who you are or where you want to take your coaching business? Because the last thing you want to do now in this current environment is compromise. You do not want to compromise. This is your moment to start declaring what you are no longer willing to accept. And it's now time to start springboarding into something bigger and new and more exciting to take your coaching business to a completely different level. So think of it this way. If you're just revamping and you're just revamping your mode or your methods from offline to online, you are at risk. On the other hand, if you are re-looking at everything, meaning your coaching model, your business model, your strategy, the target markets that you serve, the kind of industry, the kind of buyer, the level of buyer that you're talking to, and if you're revamping your message, right, your value, your relevance, your urgency, and that's going to go on your website, that's going to go on your LinkedIn profile, that's going to go on to the kind of blogs or social media posts that you put out there. If you're really reinventing your value and your relevance and the urgency of hiring you, you are in much better shape, because this is the time to reinvent. This is not the time just to put an online or virtual or remote layer on top of the same old business that you've always been running. Why is it important to improve your model, your market, and your message? 3 reasons. Reason number 1, the more that your services are in demand, the easier it is to sell in spite of yourself. A lot of coaches love the coaching part of their business, and they just really don't like the marketing part or the sales part. So the more your services are in demand, the easier it is to sell, even if you're not good at it, even if you don't like it, because now your programs are bought and they don't need to be sold. The better you are at client selection, the worse you can be at everything else. And then beyond that, it's just a math problem. If you want to get another $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month in the door, it's a simple math problem. Price times quantity equals total. So if you have a $5,000 or 5,000 pound package. You want to sell 2 more of those per month. 2 times 5 is 10. There's your 10K. There's your 10K a month. All we have to do is sit down and figure out the math problem. So nobody here has a leads problem. Nobody here has a marketing problem. All we have to do is solve the math problem of where do you want to take your coaching business next. Solve that and the floodgates will open. It takes all the emotion, all the drama out of it, and it becomes much, much easier to hit those numbers. So let's talk about 3 scary fee mistakes. Mistake number 1, really having no idea what to charge. Mistake number 2, knowing what you should charge, but knowing that you charge too little. So undercharging and wrong charging. And the third one is, even if you charge a good fee on the front end, you always get negotiated to death. You always end up caving on the price. You always end up bargaining and dropping the number just because your belief system is not in line with your pricing system. So those 3 mistakes are completely preventable. So I'm curious, which one is yours out of those 3? We'll just put this in the chat real quick. Number 1 is you genuinely don't know what to charge, so you're making it up as you go along. And some of the struggle bunny folks are at that level. Even some of the aspiring folks, frankly, are at that level. Mistake number 2 is, I know I charge too little, but David, you know what? I'm not quite sure how to fix it. So you can put charge too little, or you can put number 2, because that's problem number 2. And then number 3 is cave. I always cave on price. I always end up negotiating. I always end up getting negotiated. And I'm curious, which one is yours? Which one is yours? 1, 2, or 3? Typically, and it might be some of all 3, by the way. It might be some of all 3 that, early on, you don't know what to charge. As you're reinventing your investable opportunities, what we call your integrated product suite, you're like, boy, I'm really not sure what to charge for this new service or this new program. Whereas with your existing programs, you charge too little. And then this has just become kind of an ongoing habit with whatever you're selling. So whatever that happens to be, I would encourage you to stop that self-sabotaging behavior, because it's not doing you any favors. It's not doing you any favors. Okay, so that's that. Here's a big myth that, you know what? Most of these coaches that I see out there, they're making it up as they go along. Their fees are completely random. Their fees are not completely random, my friends. Fees reflect reality. And the number 1 biggest myth that is going to stop today, is that my fee is dependent on their budget. No. Never, ever, ever think that your fee is dependent on their budget. Your fee needs to be set based on the value that you deliver, nothing more and nothing less. So here's a truth bomb that I would share with you. If you're having a hard time getting the fees that you'd like to charge, do not lower your fees. Let me repeat that. Do not change your fees. Do not lower your fees. Change your clients. Change your clients. My friend Mark Hunter, the sales hunter, has a great saying. He says, you'll never turn a Walmart shopper into a Nordstrom's customer. So stop trying to persuade people. Stop trying to convince people. Financially successful coaches are not in the persuading and convincing business. They're in the filtering and sorting business. And I would suggest that you stop the persuading and convincing and chasing and start becoming a much better practitioner of the filtering and sorting. Who qualifies to do business with you? When you're on an enrollment call, when you're on a sales conversation, are you qualifying them just as much or more so than they are qualifying you? Now, why am I so passionate about this topic? Well, I will tell you, I mentioned the first 3 years of my business were a complete disaster. This is the main reason why. I went from being lost to very lost and back again. I could not figure this out. I could not dial this in. I was a victim of all of this. Well, what's your budget? And, what were you thinking of investing? And, oh, I can work with you on the price. And the best person who ever negotiated against me was me. And I never want the best person to negotiate against you being you. So think about it this way. There are enough forces working in the marketplace against you. Entrepreneurship is hard, in case you didn't get the memo. Entrepreneurship is hard. Coaching is a hard business. There are enough forces working against you. Please don't be one of them. Do not be one of the forces working against your own success by making some of these completely voluntary mistakes. So here's another truth bomb. We need to stop defining your value with your methods. So if you do coaching, if you do virtual keynotes, if you offer courses, substitute that with what I call VIRO plus E. It's an acronym for the value, impact, results, outcomes, and the emotional payoff of achieving those outcomes. Nobody in the history of the world has ever bought coaching. You would think, it's funny, coaching is a multi-bazillion dollar industry. No one has ever bought coaching. Every single client, every single company, every single individual has bought the outcome of the coaching. So the moment that we start selling the coaching, here's how many sessions, here's how many hours, here's how many meetings, we instantly commoditize ourselves. If you reframe that conversation exclusively around the value, impact, results, and outcomes, and the emotional payoff of solving those problems or achieving those outcomes, number one, you will sell a lot more coaching, and you will sell a lot more coaching at a much higher fee. So let's talk about the client attraction phase. Let's talk about how to have an impact on your target market. Impact is dependent on attention, and we're living in an attention economy. What that means is you first have to earn their attention before you ever get a chance to earn their money. And the way that we earn attention is with Happy Meal marketing. My definition of Happy Meal marketing, I put this in the Do It Marketing book that you're all getting a free copy of with that digital download package at kiwilive.com. When you put in the keyword do it, you're getting a copy of the book. Look up Happy Meal marketing in there and you'll see a much longer description of it. But what this means is your clients get a beautiful 7-course meal, white tablecloth, all kinds of different silverware, 4 different wine glasses, 4 different kinds of forks, 3 different kinds of knives. You get that weird shaped knife that you're like, is this for the butter? Is this for the fish? How do I use this knife? Here's the clue, my friends. It's for the fish. It's not for the butter, just so you know. Okay, so that's the beautiful client meal. Even our prospects deserve a happy meal, meaning that nobody leaves your restaurant hungry, whether they buy from you or not. And this is a big area where we work with our clients on this a lot. I call this pre-sale value. Everybody here does a brilliant job of post-sale value. Post-sale value is what value do your clients get after they sign up with you, after money has changed hands. What none of us do a good enough job with, and this is why we're not getting hired as often as we would like, no one's delivering enough pre-sale value. How much value are you offering before the money changes hands? Think about Happy Meal marketing as every email newsletter that you send needs to have value. It makes your clients better off. It makes them think. It gives them an action step. It helps them clarify a problem or a situation that they're in. Every Facebook Live that you do, every video that you post on your YouTube channel, every post that you put onto your LinkedIn profile. The reason that I am here today is because Dawn got some value out of an email that I sent and said, wow, this guy, he may have something to share with our community. I'm going to reach out to him and see if he wants to do a webinar or a masterclass. So this Happy Meal marketing, you are seeing this Happy Meal marketing in action right now at this very moment that you're watching this masterclass. My question for you, my challenge for you is, are you doing enough Happy Meal marketing in your own business? Or is this an area where you are going to say, you know what, David, you're right. I need to ramp that up. I need to add more value to my prospects, my clients, my subscribers, and my community, even before they become clients. Even before they become clients. Underline those 4 words, even before they become clients. And yes, it's 5 words. So underline those 5 words. Even before they become clients, are you doing enough Happy Meal marketing to unlock that client attraction where people will want to do business with you. And you will unlock that inflow of client inquiries and emails and calls and posts and messages. So let's talk about how coaches can stand out. If you want to stand out, you have to stand out. I know it sounds kind of silly, but you have to take a stand on your topic and on your expertise. You have to be more bold, more opinionated, more contrarian. Do not be afraid to share your biases, your slant, and your personal experiences, or even your client experiences and your client stories. Because the bad news is the web doesn't need more vanilla information. Does not need more information from you, does not need more information from me. What they need and what prospects want and need are specific insights, guidance, and help that they cannot get anywhere else. They don't need information, they need insights, they need leadership, they need guidance from you about what's right with the world, what's wrong with the world. They need your manifesto. If your manifesto is just plain vanilla, boring, seen it before, heard it before, blends into the background kind of information, the sad news is we will be ignored. If I put that kind of information out, I would be ignored. Dawn would not have invited me to come present for you today if I put the same old lame-o boring information into my emails and into my newsletter. So what does that mean? That means that every truly successful coach needs to look at herself or himself as a professional irritant, meaning that you're that little grain of sand that's in the oyster that creates the pearl. If your prospects and clients were happy with the status quo, guess what? They wouldn't hire you, and they wouldn't have hired you if you're already working with them. They want change. You are the catalyst. So if you don't like this concept of professional irritant, let's reframe it with a different word. You are a professional catalyst. You are going to take them from where they are to where they want to be. Now, sometimes if that's contrarian, if that's a little bit edgy, if that's a little bit sharp, because you took my advice and you now are standing out from every other coach who looks like, sounds like, and acts like what you used to look like, sound like, and act like, here's another truth bomb for you. If you don't risk turning some people off, you will never turn anybody on. Let me pause there for dramatic effect. If you don't risk turning some people off, you will never turn anybody on. So what that means is we need to stop playing small and we need to stop playing it safe. Coaches who play small, coaches who play safe are pretty soon not coaches anymore. They put on the green apron and they're working down the street at your local Starbucks. Why do you think Starbucks is a global company? Because there's broke coaches all around the world that stopped doing their coaching business and now work at Starbucks. And I do not want you to be one of them. I do not want you to be one of them. I just irritated a whole bunch of people just by saying that. So it's like, oh yeah, boy, I don't like this guy. He says I'm going to end up at Starbucks if I don't risk standing out from the crowd. Well, you are going to end up working at Starbucks if you don't risk standing out from the crowd. And risky is safe. And the riskiest thing you can do is to be safe and to blend in, because that's how coaches commoditize themselves. That's how coaches commoditize themselves. So no matter what your coaching specialty, whatever it is that you help people with, do they still need those things? The answer is absolutely yes. The answer is absolutely yes. The world needs your coaching. So your content and your coaching expertise is needed, but the old context is gone. That's what I was saying earlier about red pill, blue pill. That old context is gone. It's gone forever. It's never coming back. So the good news is we're not going back, but we are going forward. And so what that means is that this new reality, this post-pandemic world that we're just emerging now into, has different rules, different needs, different wants, different desires, different budgets, different markets, and a different landscape. We're emerging into a different landscape, just like we did after 9/11, just like we did after the financial meltdown of 2007, 2008. We can't ignore the new reality. If you do ignore the new reality, you're going to be seen as out of touch and out of sync. with every single one of the prospects that you talk to. So your now more than ever strategy is how to talk about your coaching and your coaching topic and your coaching theme when it is in the context of your prospects. So some prospects are having a terrible time right now as far as their business, as far as their career, as far as their health or wellness or whatever it is we're helping them with. And some folks are doing great and some folks are doing better than ever. So we have some red topics and some green topics. So think about it this way. If you're a business coach, for example, whatever your business coaching topic in a recession, when no one's hiring, during tough times, those are all red, right? Those are all, our clients are in trouble and we are flexing to accommodate the fact that our clients are in trouble. When our clients are zooming and rocketing ahead, and some companies are zooming and rocketing ahead, Zoom being one of them, no pun intended. But your topic during hyper growth, your topic at 180 miles an hour, your topic when there's never enough time. And then my favorite is whatever your topic is. You're a leadership coach, leadership, what now? You're a strategy coach, corporate strategy, what now? You're a career coach, building your career, what now? Right? What now covers everything. What now covers both positive and negative. So here's the sales language. I promised you exact sales language and sales scripting so you can create your own sales language when you're talking to prospects. So 3 principles. I'm going to illustrate and give you examples of each of these 3 on the next slide. Number 1, focus on the risks of not addressing their most mission critical issues, whether that's personal, professional, departmental, organizational, whatever it is, whoever your coaching prospect is. Reposition your offerings to address those exact issues and outcomes. Use so that language. So that ties your coaching to an outcome. So that you get, so that you earn, so that you start, so that you stop, right? All the good things go up, all the bad things go down. I'll give you an example of that in a moment. And then number 3 is create urgency around their hair on fire priorities by using time-based language. Time-based language is things like before it's too late, in the next 30 days, and right now, right? How to turn your leadership around before it's too late, right? How to turn your employee engagement around in the next 30 days. How to do X right now. So those are the 3 principles. Those are the 3 principles. And these are all in your slide deck, remember. When you go to kiwilive.com, put in the keyword do it. So you have all this in front of you already. Some examples. Ignoring X now when everyone is remote can decrease Y even more, right? That's going back here to focus on the risks of not addressing mission critical issues, right? So that's what that one might sound like. That's just one example out of many. So that language, right? We talked about so that connects your coaching to some outcomes. So that you protect, so that you extend, so that you preserve, so that you safeguard, so that you boost, build, create, generate, reduce, slash, eliminate. All the good things go up, all the bad things go down. That's where you reduce, slash, eliminate, avoid. Third one, tie into their exact in the moment priorities. If your sole focus is getting your team rowing in the same direction, if your number 1 priority is preserving your culture in a work from home environment, when X is all you care about, if Y is making you crazy, right? Lead in to what your offer is, lead in to the change that you're catalyzing by emphasizing, hey, if this is making you crazy, if this is your number 1 priority, if this is your sole focus, right? This takes you from a nice to have to a have to have. And a lot of coaches still, even today, and I don't know why, maybe it's my mission in life to help coaches get out of the nice to have category and to put you squarely in the have to have category so that hiring you is not optional. Hiring you is a survival move. It is not a nice to have when we get around to it, when we have time, when things calm down, when we have a little more bandwidth. No, right now is when you need this. So take those examples, implement those examples, and you will sell a lot more in the new now. Another truth bomb. A lot of coaches spend a lot of time building out their home studios and cameras and switching boards and fancy ring lights. Building a home studio only commoditizes you as yet another virtual guru. Rather than spend time and money there, start building a remote coaching business that wins on value, deep expertise, and hyper relevance to what your clients want right now. So, new now success story, moving from nice to have to have to have. Our client, Jen Kronberger, again, right in the middle of COVID crazy time. This was around August, September of 2020. She closed the six-figure employee engagement, diversity, equity, and inclusion coaching deal with a hospital. Think of that for a minute. A hospital during COVID crazy time. And she said, these are the ones that said with the option to renew it, please. If this were a nice to have program, Jen would not have closed the six-figure coaching deal because she framed it as a have to have program and a you can't wait to solve these problems. And the CEO and the top leadership team at the hospital agreed with her. That's why she was able to close the deal. I mean, think about this. Really? Employee engagement, corporate culture, diversity, equity, inclusion in the middle of COVID crazy time when everyone's losing their minds, plus they're a hospital. They could have had 100 reasons to put this off. And they did give Jen 100 reasons to put this off. Her belief system said the following. She tells the story in one of our client success videos. She says, I was at the meeting, virtual, of course. I was at the meeting on Zoom, and all of the top leadership team was there. And they said, well, maybe we should put this off till next year. We have an awful lot going on. A lot of people's hair is on fire. And Jen said the following, because this was her belief system. She said, do you think your people need this program now, or do you think your people need this program sometime later? And then she shut her mouth. And then she let them think. And then the CEO goes over to this, looks over at the COO. The COO looks over at the CEO. The CEO looks over at the chief nursing officer, the CNO. And the CEO looks back at Jen on the Zoom call and says, you know what? You're right. They need this now, and this cannot wait. We need to start now, and we need to carry this over into next year. If Jen's belief system were like, oh yeah, no, you know what? Let's delay. Let's hold off. Let's not do it now. You're right. This is a terrible time, right? She would have taken the blue pill. She didn't take the blue pill. She took the red pill. When you take the red pill, that's how you sell six-figure coaching deals to hospitals in the middle of the pandemic, because your belief system is stronger than their fear, uncertainty, doubt, or delay. I want you to have that same DNA for every sales conversation that you ever go into. Because at this point, my friends, there are no rules. You set the rules. When you increase your value, you help more. When you increase your impact, you change more. When you finally increase your value and increase your impact, that is where you unlock the profit and you get to earn more. If you chase the almighty dollar for its own sake, none of this is going to work. None of this is going to work. I wish it did. I wish there was a shortcut. Wave the magic wand, make $1 zillion. That's not how it works. It starts with value and you helping more, the pre-sale value and the post-sale value that we talked about. It's about the impact. Are you willing to be brave? Are you willing to be bold? Are you willing to be that professional irritant that you need to be? Are you willing to adopt the mantra that if you don't risk turning some people off, you'll never turn anybody on, and truly claim your mantle as a change agent? That's how you get paid more. That's how you get better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. That's what unlocks that entire pyramid. And that's what unlocks you escalating through those stages in that pyramid that I showed you. So another new now success story. I even left a date on this one. This is August 24th of 2020. I get an email from our awesome client, Deb Rubin. The subject line is bam, bam, just won a $90K consulting project. And I asked her, hey, is this the new one where we were kicking around the visual proposal pieces? She says, yes, phase one as fast as possible. And that's not just a once in a while thing. Deb is closing these big deals regularly. A few weeks prior to this, she sent me this screenshot of a Post-it note. Yay, 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 just closed the $30,000 virtual workshop series. Hashtag do it marketing, hashtag make awesome happen. So this is about conditioning. The reason I shared this one with you is that unstoppable traction that I told you at the top of the pyramid, where success leads to success and win leads to win and momentum leads to momentum. That unstoppable traction, once you get there, it's contagious. Once you get there, it's really hard to stop. This is like Newton's third law of physics. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. We need everyone, every coach, every expert to be an object in motion, to be an asset in motion. And that's how you win. So how do you close deals like this? How do you close deals like this? Here's the exact scripting that you can use to close these large transformational type of coaching contracts. For the program that we just talked about, that will improve, boost, create, generate, reduce, slash, solve, fix. Remember, all the good things go up, all the bad things go down. And give your folks, or give you, the exact strategies, mindset, and skill set to move the needle on whatever results they said were the most important to you and the team. I have good news. The investment is only, name the number, 25K, 15K, 57K, whatever the number is. I have good news. The investment is only 25K. Boom, easy, done. Now I need you to actually say boom, easy, done. Boom, easy, done is part of the script. When I say, hey, it's 25K, boom, easy, done. Would you like to put that on your company card, or do you prefer an invoice? When you treat the fee discussion casually and with a little bit of humor, and it's fun and it's easy and it's effortless and it's not a lot of drama, that communicates to your prospect. I quote this fee all the time. I get this fee all the time. This is no big deal. You're getting a bargain. You're still getting a bargain at 25K. And it's the assumptive sale. It's the assumptive sale. Let them tell you, oh my God, there's no possible way. If you're talking to the right prospect to solve the right problem, and you've really done everything else that comes before this to surface the urgent, pervasive, expensive problems, and you focused everything the way that I taught you in that earlier script about focus on the urgent, immediate payoffs, needs, wants, desires, this part of the conversation becomes easy. This is like after a beautiful 7-course meal saying, would you like coffee? Would you like dessert? It is a natural extension of the conversation that came before. So when I'm on the phone with someone, I say, you know what? I have good news. The investment's only 25K. Boom, easy, done. Do you want to put that on your company card, or should I send you an invoice? Is that easier for you? When you lead the sales conversation, this is called sales leadership. This is you leading the sales conversation. You not waiting for permission. You not waiting to say, oh, you know, boy, it's 25K, but I can work with you. We can do it in pieces. Don't worry about it. When your fee becomes a catastrophe to you, it becomes a catastrophe to the prospect. When your fee is no big deal to you, it is no big deal to them. The moment that you adopt this casual, confident, firm approach to the end of the sales conversation, where everyone freaks out, everyone loses their mind, everyone's like, oh, I have to name a number now. The moment that becomes not a moment of drama for you, it is never again a moment of drama for any of your prospects. So here's the truth bomb, my friends. You got to stop nickel and diming your own fees. Stop cutting prices because everyone else is doing it. What is this, 3rd grade? By the way, here's some 3rd graders in case you forgot what they look like. Live by the mantra, solve bigger problems, get bigger checks. You can see what these kids are saying to each other. Well, mom, he started it. No, wait a second. He dropped his price first, so now I have to drop my price. No. That can stop today. So we need to make the switch. You're not a professional coach. You're a professional problem solver. We are not selling inputs, we are selling outcomes. And so another great example is Stefan Bro up in Montreal. He is one of our new now success stories. He is a franchise coach, and he just closed a $25,000 deal. Now, to be fair, that's $25,000 Canadian. It's about $19,000 US at this point. So, I always like to make fun of our Canadian friends by saying, well, that's not real money, but it's close. So 25,000 Canadian dollars, about $19,000 US. So it's time to kill your self-limitations. This includes self-limiting beliefs and actions and goals and fees, acting small, treading water, getting too comfortable with doing okay. Imagine if it were easy. The breakthrough comes the moment that you imagine if it were easy, with intense focus, intelligent action, and stop being so damn comfortable. Got to start thinking big in your coaching business. Think big, act bigger, and fully engage in what's possible. And that you can really have this coaching business of yours exactly the way you want it. No more accepting, no more compromising, no more tolerating the wrong clients, the wrong fees, the wrong kind of projects coming in. So to get everything that we talked about, the slides, the bonuses, this PowerPoint deck, a couple of bonus PDFs, and a free copy of my Do It Marketing book, once again, go to kiwilive.com. That's a totally free download. Put in the keyword do it, DOIT. It's going to have you join the event. This webinar event has the special downloads tied to it, and all of that you will get, and it will also be emailed straight to your inbox. So you have the PowerPoint, you have the PDF bonuses, you have the links to the free training, you have the links to the full digital copy of my book. And with that, I am going to throw it back, and questions, comments, feedback, thoughts.
Wow. Blown away. Thank you, David. Love the energy. I mean, you talk about, boom, this is the price. I think it's got a lot to do with also the energy, and whoever is asking the questions has the power in the conversation and to keep it going. And you've just demonstrated this as a real masterclass. And I hope we'll do some more work together for all those people who missed out on this webinar today. Because we're going to be launching a premium package next year, and we want you to be part of it, because this was phenomenal and it's just what the coaches need. So thank you.
Thank you so
questions,
much.
Please. Take yourself off mute. Kerry, you go first. Ladies first.
Thank you, David. That was outstanding. And I can't tell you how appropriate it has been to hear you today, because I've had a quandary of a campaign that I launched yesterday, Tuesday morning, and it's called Be That Boss, and it's mentoring skills for management. And I've priced it at a certain price, but yesterday it was free for everybody to get a little flavor. And then I asked for feedback as to what the price should be. And it was a 25th of what I am proposing to charge. And I had a wobble. I just thought, shit, have I completely overthrown the mark here? What the hell? And actually, you're totally right. Those people are the people who joined were actually from the charity industry, and the people that I want corporates, and where the real issues actually are. And yeah, so thank you. I'm going to stick to my guns.
Yes. Well, and Carrie, just for your benefit and all the folks listening and watching, one of the survey questions that you will never, ever, ever get an accurate answer to is, how much would you pay for, or what do you think this is worth? Because what's expensive, here's the soundbite. What's expensive to you is not expensive to other people. And what is cheap to you is not cheap to other people. So some people that we might be marketing to, they live in a flat and they pay $300 or 300 pounds a month. Other people live in a mansion and they pay $30,000 a month. So when you say, hey, I have this fantastic condominium right here in, downtown Paris, and it's only $20,000 a month. The person who's coming from $30,000 a month is going to be like, oh my God, that is such a great deal. I need to hop on that immediately. And the person who's doing $300 a month is like, oh my God, that is outside the realm of possibility. I never even understood that there was something that I could live in that was that expensive. So I think you have to anchor yourself in the value that you deliver, and don't even bother asking people, what do you think it would, what do you think it's worth, or what would you pay?
Yeah, brilliant. And finally, I just wanted to ask, what's your offer? Obviously, I know we're going to go onto kiwilive.com and download the slides and get the free book and all that wonderful stuff. But what is your actual offer? So your true life stories, they're obviously part of something live that you run.
Sure. So thank you for asking. And again, this is not a commercial. This is not a pitch. I'm not enrolling anybody in anything. We run a series of marketing mentoring programs for coaches and consultants, and we help you with these three things: better clients, bigger deals, higher fees. That's the short story. So you'll at this point, you'll be getting some email, you'll be getting some follow-up, no sales pitch, no hard sell of any kind. It's going to be more emails like the kind that Dawn got that said, damn, this is good. I got to connect with this guy. So we have a pretty high bar for our email content. Of course, you can unsubscribe anytime.
Yeah,
brilliant.
content rich. David, Colette doesn't have the possibility to turn her video on or ask questions in person because she's got an internet issue. But she says, boom, easy done ethos. Is that not just a little bit too pushy?
Well, so here's, it's a great question. And this is the problem with scripting of any kind. I could say, boom, easy done. Colette, you could say boom, easy done. Dawn could say boom, easy done. Carrie could say boom, easy done. We all would come at it with a different attitude or a different mindset. It's not the words, it's the come from. So my come from is, I just uncovered all of the pains, problems, heartaches, hassles, goals, outcomes, value, impact that are important to you. I am diagnosing what you have going on, and I am letting you know by inviting you into my coaching program that this is the fit, right? In fact, let's go back because the first part of this sets the context for everything. I'm so glad we're talking about this. Here it is, right? So look at this part. Here is what you said you want. Here is what you said was important. Here are the needles that you need to move. Here are the outcomes that you need to create. That's the first third. Then this is going to give you the exact strategies, mindset, and skill set to move the needle on goal number 1, result number 2, outcome number 3, for you, for the team, for the company, for whatever, right? Because of that, I'm offering you the opportunity to invest in my program. My belief system and my attitude is not one of arrogance. My belief system and my attitude is not one of being pushy. My belief system and my attitude is one of enthusiastic invitation. So if I enthusiastically invite you into my program, the tone of voice, if we're on Zoom, you'll see this in my face. Of course, we're on Zoom now, so hello. You would see this in my face, that it's not just a line, it's not just a gimmick. I am genuinely inviting you to come into a program that, based on everything you've told me and based on my due diligence and based on me qualifying you just as much as you've qualified me, I know this program can help you. So think of it this way. Think of it as if you were a doctor, and I'll stop sharing this now. Think of it like if you were a doctor and you go in, and the doctor's methodology is a 4-part methodology of diagnosis, prescription, treatment, outcome. We do the diagnosis step. The doctor says, well, here's the prescription. When the doctor gives you a prescription, is he being pushy? It's like, you don't have to take the prescription. You don't need to fill the prescription. You can get sick and you can die. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to die. So I am going to be very enthusiastic in recommending my prescription. And I'm going to assume, like most doctors assume, when I hand you a prescription, you're probably going to go to the pharmacy and fill it, or the druggist, is it druggist in the UK? You're going to go to the druggist or the pharmacy, and you're going to fill the prescription. Do some people take the prescription home and say, nope, I'm not doing that. Forget about that. Not happening. Okay, sure. Some people don't do that, but that's the spirit in which it's given. It's in the spirit of, I'm here to help you. This is what it is. Let's get moving.
And Colette always asks great questions. She never misses a CPD opportunity. She's on every call, soaking everything up like a sponge because she's fairly new to the industry. So great to have you on board with this call again, Colette. Thank you for your question. Who else would like to ask something while we have David's undivided attention and expertise?
Yeah, David, if I may, just a quick one. You spoke about due diligence, and I think that that's such a practical way of looking at it. And I think that's where I've been weak in some points in the past, in particular, where it's been like, man, I'm speaking general terms, too generic, like you say. Could you give me a little bit more on that? What does due diligence look like in terms of really researching that market or what it is that we're offering to some extent?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. Number one, it's doing a competitive scan and seeing what other coaches, consultants, et cetera, are doing and charging and saying. Every time that someone does a competitive scan, they go, oh my goodness, so-and-so is charging so much more than me, and my program is better, and I've got more experience, and I've got more expertise, and why have I been playing so small? Why have I been charging so little? So it can be a really eye-opening experience. And then the other sort of due diligence is really understanding and researching in your area of coaching expertise. What are some of the common problems, heartaches, headaches, challenges, and gaps? And for that, I always say Google is your friend. So let's say that you work with mid-market chemical companies. I'm just making something crazy up, right? That's your niche, and you help the executives with certain kind of coaching and so on. I would go on to Google and I would say mid-market chemical company challenges, chemical company trends, chemical company problems, because all these big global consulting firms, they've done all the research, and you're going to find blogs, lists, articles, videos, all kinds of things where you can immediately become an expert on your target market's problems and trends and opportunities and everything, so that when you show up into a sales conversation and you're coaching that type of person or that type of company, you are immediately head and shoulders above the crowd because you've done your homework. So I would do a competitive scan of the other coaches, and I would also do a bit of a listening campaign and a little bit of a Google campaign of figuring out what is your industry or your target market really going through right now.
Okay. Getting the thumbs up there. And Colette says, excellent, got it. Thank you, David. Another question is, you've just talked about due diligence with Hilton there, but some people don't want to know what their competitors are doing, so they're not influenced, and they don't feel like they're being influenced by other people's fees and whatever. And I guess that's a little bit risky, just to go out there and say, this is me, this is what I'm doing, I don't care what anybody else is doing, I don't even know what other people are doing. What are your thoughts around that, David?
So if you don't know what other people are doing, it is impossible to differentiate yourself against the question mark. You need to know what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're marketing, so that you can intelligently zig where they zag. And, you know, because left in isolation, this would be a great science experiment. If I was running a psychology lab, I would totally do this experiment. We have 10 different coaching businesses. They've never seen any other coaching business. And we say, okay, tell you what, build out your homepage. These 10 coaches, never having looked at anything else, including each other, they would pretty much build the identical homepage. Here are the benefits of coaching. Every high performer needs a coach. I'm a coach. I will help you get what you want, says every coach on the planet, because they don't go to the other websites. They don't go, oh, everyone else is saying what I'm saying. So I've never seen someone who does a competitive scan and go, oh, wow, no, I am incredibly different. Boy, am I ever glad that I didn't copycat this website. What they find is, oh my God, I'm copycatting everybody and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. Good, thank you. Anybody else? Who else would like to ask a question? We've only got 2 minutes left. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
We're all getting married. It's going to be great.
Okay, well, while you're thinking, just to give you that last minute, we always end every masterclass with a 60-second CPD reflection, because if you don't do it now, you're not going to do it next week or whenever you've set time aside. You won't remember those gems. So using your CPD log or the chat box, just share what you've got out of today, what you're going to do differently as a result of this masterclass. And because I'm a bit of a nomad and my stopwatch is at home where the fire took place, all I've got is a clock. So I'm going to estimate a minute starting now. Okay, good one, Colette. Don't waste time for the right time. Yes, go girl. Okay, so that's it. Our time is up. It has flown by. Such amazing energy and generosity of spirit, David. Thank you, very, very much. I look forward to having you speak with us again and putting you in front of even more people. I'm sure we'll work something out and create a win-win-win for all of us. So thank you, everybody. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe and keep up your CPD, and let's go after big clients who are going to say, yes, of course, I expect to pay more. Where do I sign up? Boom, easy done. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, David.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everyone.